Checking again with Quincy City Council President Noel DeBona for an update of the November 21st City Council meeting. Good morning, Noel.
Good morning, Joe. How are you this morning?
Doing okay on this Thanksgiving week. It's going to be a busy one.
It sure is.
And it was busy at the council as well, I know. Back-to-back meetings.
Yes, the back-to-back meetings are always one of those. We want to get them in before Thanksgiving. So we convened last night. We were in session.
The big item, of course, was the additional funding for the public safety complex. So how did that go?
It was a 7-1 vote. And as you know, in these appropriations, they have to be supermajority. So they have to be 6 votes. Now, remember, Councilor Brian Palmucci has moved on. So there's only 8 members up there. So 7-1, it was just over the 6 mark. Ann Mahoney voted in the no. We've deliberated about this quite a bit over the last few months, I guess. We knew that there was going to be an appropriation of funding coming in. Some of the biggest items that I had was to make sure that we really mitigated the traffic concerns outside of Broad Street as we build a new public safety headquarters. They're going to divert a lot of traffic on the Field Street side, which is on the back of Quirk Ford and Quirk Nissan. Behind that area is now where the Father Bill's is being built. I took a field trip on Thursday, just recently Thursday, and they made a nice retaining wall out there, and it'll divert a lot of traffic, not only by vehicles, but also pedestrian access. And I think that's very important as we have a lot of fatalities that are right outside between the McDonald's and the Roxy's and, in that particular area. So that was one of my main concerns is extra funding. Let's get some public safety measures in that area on top of building the new complex. So that was one of the items that I was really pushing towards, and I've been on that for the very beginning of our appropriation of funding. So they've put in some new measures. Basically some fencing will be put up, and it'll divert a lot of pedestrian traffic to the set of lights where you could do the crossings instead of just walking out there. As this morning I was coming into work, I actually drove right by there, and I drive by there at least 2 to 4 times a day. So I'm very knowledgeable with that area, and just to make sure that it's better for it. Overall, a lot of the councilors just said that, we needed the funding to continue to do the project and go in the right direction, including myself. It's a situation where the full scale of the project will not be finished with the construction costs going up. So I don't think, I'll be honest with you, Joe, if the administration comes back for another appropriation of funding, I don't think they'll get the votes from the council. There's a couple of councilors on the fence that would have probably maybe have went the other way. So I don't foresee, this is it. This will be the 23 million that they have to finish the project. And if they can't do it in that 23, they're going to have to probably downsize some areas, which would be terrible. But I don't foresee the council getting more than 6 votes next if they come back for another appropriation, because we didn't foresee this one. But when the construction costs came, we fully understood it. So you got the 23 million. You're going to do it. It's very good for the public, for the first responders, police and fire, to get this public safety headquarters in order. But the price tag is definitely ballooned quite a bit. And this is all over, not only here in Quincy, Massachusetts, but all over the United States. And, it's a problem that we all face across all municipalities. So it was approved last night. I was in the affirmative. I'm for it. I want to see this continue. We're going in the right direction. So let's keep it going.
So did the administration say that this would do it now? This would be enough?
It wasn't really I didn't really hear that last night. Over the last few months, I'll be honest with you, it's going to be tough to appropriate more funding because it's ballooned. It's for 120 million we've already approved. We've got another 23 million here on the table. So that's a big price tag, unfortunately, for the taxpayers of the city. So we've got to look at the overall picture here. This 23 million, they say they can do it in this package, and I feel more confident that it will be that we can do it in the 23 million that we need. So Suffolk Construction's got the contract. Hopefully the change orders aren't a lot of them, where the we can move this forward and build a nice public safety headquarters for the folks in there. The police and fire, they just want to get a new building, and they deserve it. It's been a long way waiting for this. We need to move it forward. We wait a little bit longer, I think the construction costs will go up. So this 23 million should do it, Joe.
Okay, very good. That looked like it was the main item. Anything else that came up that we should talk about?
Council Bill Harris brought in a resolution. It was basically for communications equipment over on 3 Dorchester Street. New Singular Wireless was able to put some equipment up there. It just got a little bit too big. The ZBA approved this some 2 years ago, and they just haven't owed up to the bargain of not being so blight. Councilor Harris came in with a resolution, and I fully support it because he brought in some photos and some pictures, and I fielded some emails about it. So we're looking to revoke that as a resolution, hopefully to the ZBA, just because of incompliance of what they were entitled to really do. So that was one of the other main items, and also there was a presentation from the compost task force, just about possible composting in the city, and a possible looking into avenues of offering that type of service. I suggested that we do something that's a little bit more volunteer service first, see how the program goes with pilot programs, but we still have to figure out if DPW can come up with the permitting to allow the composting fill to be put up DPW. So there's some loose ends that need to be polished up. It was great to have the conversation in front of the city council. Shelley Dean and Emily Lebo from the school committee are on the task force. They came in front of the council last night and proposed what we can possibly do. They're doing stuff in the elementary schools and some of the Quincy public schools right now as pilot programs. And I think that's great to teach our young folks, our young children about doing the composting. Very similar to the recycling 30 years ago. We were educating the people, but obviously they've changed the dynamics of the recycling program to the single stream. I think China does not take a certain amount of recycling now. They've changed the whole game over the last for a few years with the pricing structures. Just don't hope that doesn't happen for composting. So it's a great idea, and I know folks that are very excited about doing it. Right now, if you wanted to do it, I think you pay a service. Emily Lebo had mentioned that she pays $139 for 6 months program, but they come out weekly to take the composting. It's a great program that she likes to do, and it's great for the environment, and it cuts down on trash. So it's a service that she pays into. These are all avenues that we're going to have to educate the public for a program if they want to do it, to opt into it, volunteer-wise. And hopefully we can get DPW to take some of this as a volunteer, almost like a transfer station where you come down and compost, almost like a composting station. Go down and drop off your composting. So it's something that we can consider on the city council and see how we move forward.
Oh, okay. So this wouldn't be something that like Capital Waste would do for people. They'd have to do it on their own.
If we got to that stage and it was proposed, we'd look into it. Obviously, it's in the administration's hands right now. We were only just talking about it at the city council level as a discussion. It's a great first discussion. I had mentioned to Shelley Dean and Emily that, let's get some more information. Let's get some more education. Maybe even go out with a questionnaire. Ask the folks of the city of Quincy how they feel about it and how many people are involved out of all the residents of the city who would want to do that as a composting service. So I think we get a little bit more information. We'll figure it out as we go down the road.
Okay, very good. Anything else, Noel? Those
are the main items, Joe, and I just looking forward to. Obviously, it's been a big week of Thanksgiving leading up to it. I know the youth teams have had a couple Super Bowls and a couple Super Bowl winners on the Quincy United youth programs throughout this particular area. I know that the North Quincy football game, it's the 90th annual game. Will be here on Thursday in a couple days. I know you guys do a great job with the QATV circuit of doing the game. So looking forward to it. I'll give you a little early prediction here, Joe. I've watched both teams this year, and Quincy really has a really good offensive explosive attack. They have 5 players that are really good. So going from the quarterback to the two wide receivers and 2 running backs, a slot back. So I'm going to make an early prediction here. I usually don't do this, but I'm going to go Quincy 28, North Quincy 7. The big thing is how does North Quincy stop Quincy's offense? It's going to be the main ingredient of the game. I think North Quincy has a chance to win if they can win the turnover battle. So those are my early predictions here, Joe. I'm a Quincy alumni. Usually I stay very neutral, but this particular year I see a very explosive offense that knows how to score points. So we'll see what happens on Thanksgiving. Obviously, if there's any weather conditions or rain, it doesn't look like the forecast is looking for that. I know you're going to do the weather, but I think Friday is going to be rain, so Thursday might not be the rain. So if it's not as wet, I predict without North Quincy capitalizing on 2 to 3 turnovers, Quincy just has an explosive offense, running game and passing game.
All right, there you have it, folks. 28.
So there you have it. There's a prediction: 28-7 Quincy.
Well, yeah, we will have the game here live. Pregame show starts at 8:45 that morning, actually. So we have extra long pregame show for you planned this year.
That's great, Joe. And obviously, every week I say this is you guys do just a great job over at QATV, especially with the live streaming and live. You can watch it right here on your phone, on your laptop, which is great.
Thanks, Noel. Appreciate that. And a council meeting again when?
We're not going to be coming in until December 5th. So is that 2 weeks? 2 weeks from yesterday. And then we'll be going December 19th. It's our last 2 meetings of December. So we finished our November ones with the back-to-back meetings. And we'll be back into session in December 5th. And I do predict that it's on the schedule to be the tax rate. So that'll be on the agenda.
Okay, very good. I want to take a moment to thank you personally for providing us the information here at QATV every week, and want to wish you and your family a very happy, healthy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Joe, and you have a good Thanksgiving, and take care and have a good day.